Hi, Dr. Gould. This is Haleh Harris, and this is my self-analysis in light of the innovation personas. What I'd like to do is go over how I'm structuring this presentation. I'm going to compare and contrast at first myself to the personas. I'm going to go over creative problem-solving process, mind to the future, thinking and actions of others for reform, and then finally I'll have my conclusion slide where I've created an Animoto and a Wordle cloud. Comparing myself to the personas, I've structured it accordingly. So the learning personas, I would say that I attribute myself to the anthropologist and the cross-pollinator. Anthropologist because I observe in order to come up with innovations. I also try to humanize and find ways to apply change within the daily life of my organization. And most importantly, I think that it's important to lead with empathy when problem solving, and I really think that that's so important. As the cross-pollinator, I make connections between unrelated ideas, and I'm highly curious. I bring in ideas from various areas as I understand that it's critical to connect unrelated ideas to each other. So then organizing personas, I connect with the hurdler and the collaborator. I feel as the hurdler, I'm extremely determined and optimistic, and as the collaborator, I really work to connect people and ideas through a multidisciplinary approach. And then finally, the building personas. The storyteller, I establish my stories in an authentic manner, and as a caregiver, again, I go back to the point on empathy. I'm empathetic, which allows me to build relationships with my stakeholders. So in contrast, I need to work on the following areas. For the learning personas, the experimenter, I need to work on taking risks within my ecosystem. I have started doing this, especially since entering the EDD program, but I still need to continue to develop that. Next, the director. Thinking about the big picture does not come easy to me, so I need to remain cognizant of this and at all times and focus on it. And in doing so, I'm able to reflect and think of the big picture, but it's not so easy for me. The building personas, the experience architect and the set designer, I need to find ways for both to build upon workspaces to help facilitate workflow for my adjuncts. I teach developmental reading, but I also oversee approximately 10 adjuncts depending on the semester, and adjunct space is so hard for these people, and I think that I need to do a better job of advocating for their design needs. Next, creative problem solving process. So I've identified a problem. The reading final exams used to assess students in a skill-based manner, and this approach is quite outdated. So I looked at the old exams and gathered data, branched off to identify novel ideas to address the problem. So in planning and implementing the new version of the final exam, I turned it into a final assessment bank for our discipline. I didn't do this on my own. I went to my department chair and told her that we needed to do something to change the outdated exam in light of updating. We had just updated our course objectives for the developmental reading courses, and the new objectives did not match up with the old final exam. So I took faculty views, and I took the varied perspectives to address a whole host of possibilities to meet students' needs. Instead of having one final exam, we created this final assessment bank so that people can create their own assessments. They post it to this final assessment bank in this shared folder for the reading discipline, and we can pull questions and ideas to meet our students' needs in any way that we'd like, as long as it's on that within that bank folder. Mind to the future. So the final assessment bank is just one example of leading with a mind to the future. This is I wanted to consider A couple things. So, literacy needs to be addressed in a holistic approach rather than a skills based manner to prepare students for global contexts. And reshaping literacy instruction is a global phenomenon that keeps the future in mind. And we can't move forward with college level reading courses in a fragmented manner. We need to move forward in an integrated approach. Thinking and actions of others for reform. So what I did was my main focus area was on adjunct faculty to help build relationships to address this pedagogical need for our students. I concentrated on adjunct faculty because in light of the way that adjuncts are mistreated, in my opinion, I really felt like they needed to have a voice in reshaping the final assessment bank. So bridging a relationship between the adjuncts and the full-time faculty members was another goal, and I tried to build this and bridge this relationship between the two groups so we could work as one unified group so that we can eventually meet the needs of our students. And I think that making the adjuncts a primary stakeholder in this process really benefited the process of bridging the two groups. So this right here is a Wordle cloud that I created. In the Wordle right here is I've just pulled some buzzwords from the work, and I just felt like these words are words that represent who I am as a leader at this point when it comes to innovation. And it also represents words that I feel like I need to work on. Finally, I've created an Animoto, and I'm going to click on that so you can view that. I'll make it larger. Thank you. That concludes my presentation. And I have my references on the final page. So I appreciate you listening. Please let me know if you'd like me to send anything else to you. Thank you.